Okay, so here I am again, still working. What I did was I put a mirror here to kind of reflect light a little bit to see if it would do better or worse. Turn this light on here and see what we get. A lot of light there. Got another one over here too. There, how's that? Even more light. So, I mean, we got lots of light here. Okay, so I found my lost gloves. I'm gonna keep my glove stash over here. But you know what? I don't want to kick them in the rain for free. Crazy like. So I'm gonna just stuff them in here like a little bag. See how many I can stuff. 3, 4, 5, 5. 6, 7. I have more, but there it makes a little thing, and I can actually, yeah, that's cute. I could probably tie these 2 fingers together over that bar and just hang them up over the bar, and then when I want them, that's what happens if I just pull one out. Oh, that works good. But for now, I'm just going to leave it on the table. Let's finish undoing this one. Let's see if I can wiggle those through a little bit more. It seems like I always have the sniffles. I have allergies. And I have a good allergy doctor, but he gives me medication for it. But South Alabama. So hot in here. Well, not so hot, but it was a lot hotter. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I had an air conditioning company come and, cut a hole in the ceiling and put in air conditioning, but it didn't work out very well for me because it doesn't work. So I'm gonna have to have somebody else come and actually fix it so that I get some air conditioning in this room. I mean, it blows in a tiny little bit, but not very much. Nobody installed substandard Oh, ow. Yeah, I'll never do this again. I washed these gloves in the sink. Well, actually, I threw them in the washing machine. I thought, oh, what a great idea. But they got all wet inside. And guess what? Now, you see what I'm doing. So I won't do this again. I think I could maybe put some stakes in the yard outside. Like garden stakes. Those wooden square tomato stakes would be maybe work. And then when they get, if they get wet inside, I'll just hang them up on those stakes and hope they dry that way. I don't know, I'll try it. It's very humid in South Alabama, so it's hard to say if it'll work or not. The only way I can know is to try it. The only way I can know is to try it. Ooh. I'm gonna have to take a naproxen, two or three of them for my back. It's really been hurting me bad, really worse than it has in a long time. And I get to where I can't get up or even laying down. Like the other day, for some reason, my ribs were hurting on my left side. And I took 2 naproxen and some Aspercreme. I mean, I couldn't sleep. So I got up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I really wasn't sleeping anyway. And I took 2 naproxen and some Aspercreme. And I rubbed Aspercreme on it. And I had the heating pad on it. And it was in my ribs. It was like in between the rib bones. And it hurt all the way back around my back. And every time I breathed, it hurt. It was terrible. But that little bit of naproxen and I took a muscle relaxer that the doctor gave me. I'm always going to the doctor. But anyway, that helped me to get a few hours sleep. But yesterday for me was terrible. Just was like I wasn't awake all day because I just didn't sleep the night before. My back started to hurt again. I hate laying down. During the daytime, I have so many things that I wish I could do, like keep up with housework and such. My husband was diagnosed a year ago in August with vascular dementia. So that kind of keeps me busy. A little bit, not real busy, but just make sure I have to take care of him, make sure he's drinking enough water, and every day, that's every day. Especially in this heat, because if his blood gets, thick, then, his blood gets thick, he could have a stroke, which he just has strokes every once in a while. The only time I take him to the doctor, not every once in a while, like often, but every time I take him to the doctor if like the last time was like a month ago, when his face drooped, he had weakness in his upper arms, but when the doctor asked him, are your arms weak? He said no, but they were. I mean, I could tell because when I hugged him, he didn't realize, his hug was weak. His usual hug was very much weaker. So, but he gets, or sometimes he doesn't actually hear what they say, and he's out. Usually he's out of it when, he gets like that. I can usually tell because his lips get pale, and he just looks like he's dazed out. And if I talk to him, he'll be like, huh? So I'll say, hey, are you okay? Or, well, what I noticed, he knew something was wrong with him before I noticed it. And I looked at him, and we were standing in the kitchen, and I said, hey, you're drooling. And he goes, yeah, I know. And when he said that, his other side of his mouth didn't really move. And I was like, oh no, we're going to the hospital. And he had a fit. He wasn't going to go to the hospital. He don't like the hospital. But they, I was able to convince him a few days later, and as soon as I took him to the doctor, he loves going to the VA. He goes to the VA, and he loves the VA. He won't go to the regular doctor. He won't go anywhere unless it's the VA. So I said, hey, we're all the way up here this side of town. Why don't we just stop in and see your doctor? So we went in. Doctor took one look at him and said, you're going to the hospital. So they put him in the hospital, and he had to stay overnight. And they just said, you know, same things I already knew, but I really need to document that he's having these episodes because, you know, I want to take good care of him. And anyway, that's the end of the video for now. I'm going to go see how it looks. Okay, bye. Thanks for visiting.